I've owned a Mini-14 for years, and let me tell you, it's not the gun people think it is. Behind those cowboy aesthetics and that old-school Woodstock charm lies an entirely different story Ruger never really advertised. Once you dig beneath the surface, you start seeing this rifle in a whole new light. And today we're diving deep into the Ruger Mini-14. Its quirky history, the details Ruger left out of the manual, the oddball variants nobody talks about, and why. Yes, even in 2025, you're missing out if you don't own one. Before we get rolling, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and drop a like. It's free, but it pushes me to keep cranking out more of these breakdowns for you. Now buckle up, because this ride is about to get interesting. The Mini-14 wasn't just a baby M14, even though that's what people love to call it. If you grew up thinking Ruger shrunk down a battle rifle, you weren't totally wrong, but that's only half the truth. Back in the late 60s, Bill Ruger teamed up with Jim Sullivan, the same man who had a hand in designing the AR-15. But their goal wasn't to create another military rifle. They wanted a civilian-friendly carbine, something classic in appearance, reliable in function, and approachable enough that it wouldn't spook your neighbors. By 1973, the Mini-14 hit the shelves. Its DNA pulled from the M1 Garand and M14 with a rotating bolt, short-stroke piston, and a rugged receiver. It looked like an old warhorse, but it was sized down for the modern civilian shooter. Ruger managed to package that battle rifle feel into something lighter, handier, and far less intimidating. Early Minis had quirks, no doubt about it. The pre-180 series in particular had skinny barrels that would start stringing shots once they heated up. The bolt hold open worked, but only if you reached inside to release it manually. It wasn't polished, it was practical, and yet people loved it. Ranchers threw them behind truck seats. Guards carried them in prison towers. Patrol cops slung them across their chests. It wasn't because the Mini was pretty, it was because it worked. Over time, Ruger quietly rolled out fixes. Heavier barrels, better heat shields, factory scope mounts, ghost ring sights. Improvements trickled in without Ruger ever making a big marketing push. They let the rifle's reputation do the talking. That silence is part of why many people still underestimate the Mini today. Now, let's talk mechanics, because this rifle is fascinating once you open it up. The Mini-14 uses a short-stroke, fixed-piston gas system, self-cleaning by design, which keeps carbon and gas out of the receiver. That alone makes it run cleaner than most ARs. Instead of a sharp snap, the recoil feels like a smooth push thanks to the Garand-style rotating bolt and recoil spring tucked under the carrier. And unlike ARs, the Mini doesn't need a buffer tube sticking out the back. That allows for a traditional rifle stock, wood or synthetic, that gives the Mini its classic silhouette. Ruger used investment cast receivers to keep costs down without compromising strength, giving the rifle a durability that feels like it belongs in the World War II family tree, even though it's a semi-auto carbine for the modern day. The Mini isn't winning bench rest competitions, but what it delivers is a blend of simplicity, ruggedness, and reliability that's rare in today's market. Here's where things get really fun. The forgotten .222 Remington Mini-14. Most shooters have never even heard of it. I didn't believe it myself until I stumbled on one at a gun show years back. Same classic ranch rifle look, but stamped .222 Remington on the barrel. Why did Ruger make it? Because in several countries, civilian ownership of military calibers like .223 and 5.56 NATO was strictly prohibited. By chambering the Mini in .222, Ruger gave shooters overseas a legal alternative. Performance-wise, the .222 is nearly identical. Slightly less velocity, a longer neck, softer recoil, but still accurate and practical. Ruger never published production numbers, and many of these rifles vanished overseas. A few pop up in the US now and then, mostly from batches imported back from Europe. For collectors, they're like unicorns, hidden gems of Ruger history. It's just another reminder that the Mini-14 wasn't a one-size-fits-all rifle. It adapted, quietly, to markets all over the world. Now let's fast forward. In 2025, with AR-15s dominating the gun world, Where does the Mini-14 stand? Here's the truth. The AR has taken over the market in terms of modularity, upgrades, and precision. But the Mini-14 isn't trying to compete in that arena. It thrives in a different lane. Its traditional profile makes it politically softer. Where an AR might spook suburban neighbors or draw the wrong kind of media attention, the Mini in a walnut stock just looks like a hunting rifle. That image has kept it alive in states where ARs are restricted or demonized. And historically, law enforcement relied on them too. In the 80s and 90s, rural deputies, prison guards, even some SWAT units carried Mini-14s. They were cheaper than ARs back then and tough enough to get the job done. Pop culture locked it into memory as well. The A-Team turned stainless Mini-14s with folding stocks into icons of the 1980s. That exposure cemented the rifle's place in gun culture long before ARs became household names. Today, the Mini-14 still sells to ranchers, farmers, homeowners, and collectors. It's not about tactical rails and red dots. It's about owning a rifle with character, history, and a personality that ARs sometimes lack. At the end of the day, the Ruger Mini-14 is more than just a semi-auto carbine. It's a chapter of American firearms history. A rifle that straddled the line between tradition and modernity, that survived shifting laws and markets, and that still commands loyalty 50 years after its release. It's not perfect. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most customizable, but it's reliable. It's rugged, and it tells a story unlike any other rifle in its class. So the real question is this: in 2025, with ARS ruling the shelves and AKS holding their ground, does the Mini-14 still deserve a spot in your safe? Is it a practical rifle for today, or is it just nostalgia wrapped in walnut and steel? I want to hear your take. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Mini, Team AR, or maybe both? And while you're down there, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. And remember, it's never just about the guns, it's about the stories they carry.